Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live. Hope you're going to enjoy your Saturday. My wife is getting ready to go down to New Bern for the weekend, so I'll be home alone. Somebody said that there was 55 episodes of Buddha on Netflix, so I'm going to Buddha binge this weekend. But let's get to our Tolle quote for the morning. For those of you, anyone just dropping in, I pull up coffee. I have a coffee table box full of Eckhart Tolle quotes from The Power of Now, and I read one, and we just meditate on it in the sense that when you meditate on something, you just put your attention on it and then you let it reveal itself to you. Or maybe that's contemplation. I don't know. But anyway, here's the quote. When every thought absorbs your attention completely, when you're so identified with the voice in your head and the emotion that accompanies it, that you lose yourself in every thought and every emotion, then you are totally identified with form and therefore in the grip of the ego. Aha. Ego is kind of like the new devil now. You don't, in the secular world, you don't say I'm in the grip of the devil. I'm in the grip of the ego. So the ego has become the new devil, you see. And well, anyway, the ego becomes the bad guy, the dictator. And so let's take a look at this. When every thought absorbs your attention completely. Now, if you this is lost in thought. We all see people, including ourselves. Maybe you're at dinner or wherever you are, and suddenly they're just kind of like frozen, and they're just staring blank. They're lost in thought, you see. And we all have these moments. That is when it's really obvious that you are in the grip of thought. You are gone. You're not here, you see. Then, you snap back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's kind of like when you're driving. And I guess you do it when we're driving. Suddenly you are, wait a minute, did I go by my turn? Oh, wait, where am I? So you were lost in thought there. But the question is, who was driving? Whoa, where am I? I was lost in thought. But who was driving? Well, somebody was driving. You didn't crash into a tree. Who was that? That's an interesting question. Lost in thought. One way to look at thought, we're looking for metaphors, you see. So a good metaphor is you're watching TV, right? And you got your CNN here, whatever, and across the bottom, a little ticker tape runs across there, right? And so you read it. You want to read it. You're drawn to it. So this is thought. And this is present moment. Okay? And you can really see the difference when you like watching the present moment. I'm here, and then thought runs across the face of present moment, and you begin to read your thought as if it were breaking news, right? Breaking. Right? Breaking news, important stuff. This is more important than the present moment. This is important things, Go with it. And so you read the thought as if it were very, very important and very, very true. Now, who is it that well, first of all, what is thought but abstract Symbols. Oh, how you spell symbols. I wonder if the Chinese, when they think, if it's little pictograms that run across their mind. You see, I mean, our language is phonetic, and so you can't think without language. We think in the language of our culture. And if we were brought up by wolves, we wouldn't be able to think. We think because other people talk to us. And so we talk to ourselves. Talking to myself with my thinking. I'm telling myself what I should do and what just happened. And I'm telling myself who screwed me up or how I'm screwed up or what's wrong with me. You see, so thinking is always informing me about the totality, you see. But see, there's a difference here between awareness and thinking. And you can see that when you use the TV screen as a metaphor, and the total visual reality is awareness of reality, and thinking is abstraction of reality that we believe is informing me about reality, and I should obey thinking. And so I can get, and very quickly you can get absorbed in it. And you can notice how you're just which goes back to the idea of driving. You know, I'm not even aware of where I am. I'm lost in the thinking, you see. So we can really, see really powerful moments when we are lost in thought. And at the same time, the thought as an abstraction is not reality. And thought comes from where? The past. If we, that's, so thinking is always coming from memory, from yesterday, from what we know. Thinking is the net that holds my sense of personality and person together. So I'm really caught in this whole sense of me as a separate person with history. You see, this whole sense of me as a unique individual is held in place by thinking. Because you notice when we're not thinking, we are totally in the present moment. And it's only afterwards that we start thinking about it that we notice that we had a good time. When you are in the present moment with people doing something, involved in the moment, you're not thinking about it. How long am I going to be doing this? You see. So thinking, if you begin to look at thinking, then you really have to become interested in thinking. If you're not interested in thinking, then you are caught in the grip of thinking, which is what Tolle was talking about. When every thought absorbs your attention completely, when you are absorbed, like you put bounty tissue on a pool of dog pee, I mean, that absorbs it, or water, it absorbs it, you see. So the thought is kind of like a sponge that absorbs you. And then maybe you pop back out, for a moment, but then you absorb back in it, So this thought, you really have to become curious about it. You really have to become interested in it and notice how it works. And stop believing it. One has to, if you want to be free from thought. And I'll say over here, this is my little Zen guru, a Zen master telling my little split mind, open the hand of thought. This was actually a book by, can't think of his name, Zen master. Take refuge. And so this is kind of like open the hand of thought. It is an interesting metaphor because the hand is the body. So when he says, open the hand of thought, thought doesn't have a hand, but it does have a hand. Or if you want to let go of thought, you have to open your body. Get the connection? Open the hand. How do you open the hand? How do you open your hand? Could you write, if I asked you, how do you open your hand? Could you write out could thought tell me? Could you write out a manual instruction? No. You would say, you just open it. Just do it. Thought can't tell you how to open the hand. So here's your wisdom here. Open the hand of thought. Is that this is a metaphor, because thought doesn't have a hand, but yet it does have a hand. So where is the hand of thought? Where is the hand of thought? It's in your body. And where is your body but now? So, getting back to this as a metaphor, the body, which is reality. See, the body does not think. The body just is. The body is an integral, interconnected part of the present moment. Your body is not just levitated down here like Mr. Bean. Your body, my body is in this room. It's breathing the air of this room. It's located in the space-time of this room. I'm here. I'm not a chair. But it is dependent upon everything in this room. So this room that includes my body is a holon, is a whole. You see, I can't be abstracted from this room except if took a picture of me and then I could Photoshop me out. But in reality, you can't Photoshop anything. I can't Photoshop that chair out of here. You see? So, the reality that in the present moment, which just is and cannot be Photoshopped, cannot be altered, except physically, when I come in and take that chair out of here, so you take it out. So the present moment isness, is just this, you see. And the body is just this. So, when we want to open the hand of thought and release, and I want to release myself from the grip of thought. The grip, that's painful, the grip. You see, the grip of thought. Take your hand, open your hand, open your hand. Oh, okay. So that's kind of like thought is killing me. Because it's not real. It's the language of reality. It's an abstraction of reality. It's the map of reality. There you go, thought. Map. Okay, so when I am identified with the map, then it's like I'm eating the menu instead of the food. The food is here. The menu is describing the food. And of course, the menu is very attractive, so, oh, that's good. So you cut it up and eat that menu. Good. See? And the waiter's standing there with the food and you're eating the menu. That would be a good cartoon. And that's the way we live. Eating thought as if it were reality. So we really have to become interested in that because it's unconscious. It's automatic. We're cultured into this. Our culture is a thought-bound culture. Everything is built by thought. Everything in this room is built by thought. My house, the town, every building, everything in here started out as thought. It's put together by thought. Sold by thought. You see. And bought by thought. Oh, I think I want that. So we live in a thought-created reality. If we were, and we're, this begins, with the cave, with primitive man. Nothing is thought created except maybe the bow and arrow or the cooking bowl. So we start out very simple. And that's why Thoreau, the great transcendental philosopher of America, simplify. Get back to pre-thought. And that's why people go on vacation. Or they go to a retreat, you see. Or they go live in Alaska in a cabin. Or they put a tent in the backyard. They go camping. Of course, even camping has a minimum of, also has a thought-created base. I got the tent, I got my light, I got all my little comforts, you see. But when you go into nature, you're not in a thought-based reality, except for the little ticker tape running across your brain. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Now, I never saw that before, but I think we ought to take a picture of that, you see, so I can remember that scene, And, when the last time I was here is different. But have you ever gone to Yosemite? And yada, 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 Seinfeld, yada, 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 running across, you see. We can't just be here. We got to think about being here, you see. And so this becomes indoctrinated. This becomes the way it is. We don't question it. We never question the fact, is it possible to live free of thought? It doesn't mean that thought ceases. It just means you stop running with it. You stop identifying with it. And then when you stop investing in it, it begins to weaken and decrease. I know from my own experience, now I've been meditating seriously, an hour a day since 2005. I'm not saying that because it's anything special. It's just that I'm saying that I have been able to witness and experience the decrease in the power of thought as that which informs me about the world. Thought does not inform me about reality. Thoughts will come up, but they're like a goose or a crow. Boop, 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 boop. A flock of geese would be a flock of... Now, if I go with those geese and go off with them, you see, then I'm identifying with them. And I've left the present moment. I've left the pond. I've left the lake, you see. And I'm flying somewhere with these geese. No. So you stay on the lake of the moment. And now it's no longer a flock. With me, it's just like a single goose. And I watch it go by. The lake is awareness. The lake is the present moment. So I'm just aware in the present moment, and a thought will go by. And it just goes and keeps on going. I don't go with it. It doesn't land on the lake. And I tell you, it is the most important discovery and the most important transformative thing that's ever happened to me, is to be free from the tyranny of thought. But then thought becomes creative now. See there? See, thought becomes ideas. And there's a big difference between thinking and an idea. An idea blooms in the pond of awareness, and then you can think about it. But the idea does not come from the past. The idea is not coming from your memory. The idea doesn't come from yesterday. The idea with a capital I, idea, right? Idea is creative. And the idea would be for a poem, a song, a product, a solution, a way out. An idea gets you out of a fix. And we're in a fix because we're locked in thought. So ideas, you see, when we're in a fix, it's because thought can't get me out. When I'm caught in the labyrinth of, oh, should I go this way or that way? I don't know. They both look the same to me. I'm lost in thought then. I can't act, you see. I'm whoa, 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 whoa. And then they put up a smoke signal. Come save me. I don't know how to get out. I don't know how. My thinking has failed me. Thought fails. So when thought fails, we have this sense of loss of who I am. That's because I've identified with thought. There's never any feeling of losing yourself when you don't identify with thought. When we identify with thought as the thinker, then I am always at risk of losing myself, either by daydreaming off into thought or in a situation where I can't think my way out of it. And thought can't think your way out of a new situation, because thought always comes from memory and from the past. You dig into your trunk of what you did yesterday in order to get out of a fix today that is entirely new. Every moment is entirely new because the universe is creating itself out of itself, entirely new every moment, you see. So thought is always running behind the moment in a wagon with yesterday's strategies. And they don't work because the situation is new. So you have to have an idea of how to work with the present moment. There's a difference between the idea and thinking. But idea will not happen until thinking shuts up. As long as I'm caught up in thinking, oh, what should I do? This is crap, oh my God, I will not be inspired by an idea that will liberate me or fix or get me through a fix. MacGyver is a good metaphor for this because he's always coming up with a new idea on how to get out of a fix. And he uses what's given. He doesn't say, oh, I should be somewhere else and then I would have a way to get out of this fix. No. He just looks around and grabs what is and puts it together in an idea, and then he's out of the fix. All the superheroes do this. All the superheroes are liberated from thinking, and they have ideas on how to get out of a fix. And the superhero is also spontaneous. So you can't be spontaneous when you're identified with thinking, because thinking is not spontaneous. Thinking is a tape loop of yesterday. Thinking is who you were yesterday. But who you are now is the present moment. But thinking makes you believe that you are something that has been transported into the present moment, intact from yesterday. Like the opening of Mr. Bean. I love that. Suddenly he's like levitated down, plop, and then he runs around. You see, so thinking makes us believe that we've been imported here from the past, intact. And thinking then has to encounter an entirely new reality, and it has no way to do that because it's coming from the past. You see, get the idea. Every moment is an entirely new reality, and of course we don't realize this until we're in a moment of change. Most of our moments are pretty stable. Like right now, this room is very stable, so I don't have to. It's kind of like. Well, it's like a 16 it's like an old movie film, and if you slow it down, you begin to see the jerks in between the frames, the jerky, and then if you look at the film itself, you see the space between the frames. Well, that's kind of like a metaphor for reality, in that every moment is a new moment. It's not a continuation of the last moment, but in order to catch a bus and get around the world and run from the tiger and whatever, we have to see the world as being somewhat static, but at the same time it's creating itself, and thinking wants to hold everything in place so its strategies will work. But reality is change. It's not something that changes. present moment, reality, existence is change. It's a verb. It is change. So that's why when we get in unfamiliar situations, uncertain situations, thinking begins to fail. And we have to be creative to respond. That's why when death appears suddenly, we don't think about how to get out of it. We just get out of it. We just do it. We just leap. We just pick up the car and get the baby out from under it. We just jump in front of the truck and get the baby. You see, we're not thinking about it. We are totally present, spontaneously, acting correctly, intuitively, or not even intuitively. We just are correct action, you see. That's why when the war hero gets a medal for the Congressional Medal of Honor because of his action during present danger, most of them are rather embarrassed getting it because they know that when they were caught in this situation, they weren't doing anything. The thinker was not doing it. And so now the president, they want to put the medal on this personality. But in that moment of, quote, heroism, there was no personality. There was no thinking self, a personal self. There was no personal self. The personal self is the thinker. The personal self is what? An I. An I thought. An I thought. I had an experience in 1980, 79, 78. I was at an ashram in Swami Muktananda's ashram, meditating. 12 o'clock. And suddenly, there was this space opened up. And my I thought, my thinking self, this thinker, this thinking was kind of like a worm, and it was right there, this space, and there was this thinking. I was watching, I was aware of the thinker as a little ball of energy, like I'll say a worm, but it was just a little but it was out. The thinking was awareness, space was here. And then this thinker was sucked up into this light, and the thinker, which was my thinking self, said, I'm going to die. And then it was sucked up into this light. And then it came back down. And then it said, my thinking self said, oh, that's what death was like. And then for about a couple of days, I was in this state of total equanimity. I was in total peace with the world. And, it was. I've had several of these experiences. Total peace, this state of equanimity where there is no sense of being separate from anything. Oh, the last time I was in it was when I came out of anesthesia the other day with the colonostomy. When you come out of that anesthesia, the ones they use now for colonostomy, which has no after effects. It's just like, bam, thank you, ma'am, bam. And then you're kind of like, for a little while, you're in that place of equanimity where everything is great, everything's funny. Everything is cool, right? So anyway, so what I say for this I thought, I've seen the I thought, and that's just about what it is. It's just a little. It's the I thought is the believed in thought that is me, and then from that I thought, all other thinking comes. You see, so that's the thinker, and it thinks and it breathes. It's kind of like a breeding machine. The I thought just breeds, but thinking flows out of it. And the thinker believes it's separate from the thought. But the source of thinking is the I thought, which is a thought. So the mind, when we're thinking, is basically a thinker thinking about thought, believing that the thinker is somebody real in there, but it's not. It's like a mirror creating the reflection and believing it's a reflection. So you really have to become interested and curious about thinking and just how it works, And so this whole practice of liberation from thinking, which is what the spiritual practice is, basically, becoming present, not getting sucked out of reality by thinking, you see, is basically awakening the curiosity, awakening the intention, the desire to look at thinking and see what it is. Since we live there, we ought to see where we are. Since we're caught in the pain of thinking and the emotional baggage it brings with us, states of thinking, states of mind are states of thinking. Like different rooms in a big house. Oh, this room is the depressed mind. Oh, this room over there is the angry mind. Or that room over there is the envious mind. And that room over there is the greedy mind, you see. And that room over there is the anxiety mind. And on and on. It's a house of minds, you see. We go from one to the other without noticing it. One minute we're depressed, the next minute I'm angry, the next minute I'm forgetting all about it and I'm having a good time eating ice cream. But we're not interested in looking around and seeing just what the hell we live in. This house of thought. The house of thought, you see. So that's the whole point of Eckhart Tolle, and I guess why I'm here, and why we're all yearning for liberation from something. You wouldn't even be listening to this unless you had a yearning for liberation from some grip, some contraction, you see. Something that seems to be holding me in, You see. But we're looking for it in the wrong places. Thought tells us where to look. The last thing thought wants is for you to look at yourself. Or you to look at it, you see. Because thought cannot stand the light of your own awareness. Thought cannot survive as a personality, as a person, a believed-in person, when you turn and look at it. Because your true nature is awareness, not thought. Your true nature is the present moment, which is awareness, and not what you think about the present moment, which is coming from yesterday and the past, you see. So anyway, thank you all for dropping in, and I'll see you this evening at Martini time.